everyone, welcome back again. So today we're talking about Dissection, a fundamental band when it comes to Swedish black metal, or death metal as they used to call themselves. Storm of the Light Bane is a classic album, one that I really like, and one that I've played guitar covers from before on my channel. In relation to that, I was asked by some of you, how did I go about recreating Jon Nödtveidt's guitar tone for the album? So today we're going to take a look exactly at that. How did I go about recreating the classic Dissection guitar tone? We're going to start by taking a look at Jon's gear that he was using back in the day, and later we're going to move on to an analog approach to recreating the guitar sound, and later on to a digital approach with 3 VSTs. So make sure to watch until the end and stay tuned for that. We know from some interviews with Jon himself, but also with Dan Svanö and Seth that Jon back in the day was using Gibson guitars, either a Les Paul or a V, and Marshall amplifiers. There are pictures depicting him live on stage, standing in front of Marshall stacks, be it JCM models or Super Lead models. We also know from pictures and interviews alike that he was using Boss distortion pedals. Specifically, at the time of Storm of the Light Bane recording, there are studio pictures showing him using a Boss Metal Zone distortion pedal. This we can also tell from the sound, because as a user of Boss Metal Zone for 10 years now, I can say that the Boss Metal Zone has a very distinct and recognizable character, which is definitely present on the album. In short, if you want to recreate Jon's guitar sound, you're going to need an electric guitar with humbucker pickups, a Boss Metal Zone distortion pedal, and some sort of Marshall amplifier. In the first cover I recorded on my channel, which was a cover of Where Dead Angels Lie, I used my Boss Metal Zone and my Marshall JCM 2000. The guitar was my Washburn CS 780. That gear allowed me to get very close to the original sound on the album. Unfortunately, I do not recall the settings that I used back then to achieve the sound, but I know that I used the Boss Metal Zone as a distortion pedal and I plugged it into the clean channel of my Marshall amplifier. The sound was then recorded using a Shure SM58 microphone and was run into my DAW. I might have had added some extra equalizer in the production process, but I can't recall exactly my settings. When it comes to the second cover which I recorded, which was Unhallowed, I did use a digital approach that time. I do not recall the settings which I used in that occasion, but I did recreate the Dissection tone in the clips that you heard at the beginning of the video, and those are the settings that I'm going to show you. First of all, as mentioned, you're going to need an electric guitar with humbucker pickups. Secondly, you're going to use the Mercurial Metal Area MT2 clone VST. It's a very, very faithful reproduction of the Boss Metal Zone typical sound. Subsequently, you're going to use a Pauline Hybrid Marshall clone VST. This is also free and a quite good reproduction of JCM or Super Lead Marshall circuits, and it does the job fairly well at recreating the Dissection tone. Of course, you're going to need a cab. What I used was a Nadir loader with Redwire's 1960A Marshall impulses. This is a free pack that you can download from their website. I will put on screen exactly the impulses that I used from that package. I also used Reaper's built-in delay for the lead guitar parts. You're also going to need a master equalizer to bring the sound closer to the original album. And for this, I used Reaper's built-in equalizer as well. You can also add some reverb to taste to create some more ambience in the guitar sound. And this is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you're gonna get the sound you're after. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Take care and see you next time.